film critic and a publisher of an arts and entertainment newspaper. He's currently a writer, creative director for several children's websites. He lives with his wife and son in Portland, Oregon. Visit him at this website called Where the Bad Kids Go, and I went there yesterday. It's a crazy, it's very interactive. It was a very cool website. I was telling my kids that you guys gotta not see this website. It was great. Dale?
Hello, my name's Dale Basye. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I am author of Where the Bad Kids Go, Rapacia, the Second Circle of Heck, Blimpo, the Third Circle of Heck, Fibble, the Fourth Circle of Heck, Snivel, the Fifth Circle of Heck, Preciosa, the Sixth Circle of Heck, and Pat the Bunny. Actually, I didn't write all of Pat the Bunny, just the daddy scratchy beard part. That was mine. So how is everybody? You guys okay?
Good.
All right.
We're very glad you made it.
Thank you. Yeah, I am too. Hillsboro is not my hood. Actually, driving isn't what I normally do anyway. But what I usually do at my presentations is I start with a shared trauma, and I like to do this via song. So I'm going to sing a song that's loosely based on my first book, Heck, Where the Bad Kids Go. And actually, and Heck is basically where the souls of the darned toil for all eternity, or until they turn 18, whichever comes first. So it's for middle school kids, and Heck is basically middle school. So here's a song about Heck. It's not available in any stores. I'm sure you can see why. I cut out a few dozen verses. Okay, so now since this is a reading, what I was going to do is read the first chapter of my first book, Heck, Where the Bad Kids Go. So I'm going to read that right now.
Out loud.
I'm sorry, I'm new at this. Okay, that's definitely more exciting, I think. And good way to try to get rid of the dead air there. I do need, even though you are a little older than my usual demographic, I do need a boy and a girl to help me with this. So if a man, woman, boy, girl, you two are being pointed at furiously by your friends. Could you come up, please? Yeah. You and this young man? No? Wow. Wait it. Oh, okay, here you. It's okay. We're still in the shared trauma portion of our. Okay. So I'm gonna read the
guitar.
Don't you dare. I'm gonna read the first chapter, and I want you two to wrestle to the death while I read it. No, actually, okay. Oh, okay. Children, you might want to leave. I don't know what that was. Okay, you're gonna be. What's your name? Laurel? Okay, Laurel. You're going to be Marlo Fauster, a 13-year-old kleptomaniac, and you'll read the yellow there. And you, sir, your name? Brett. You will be Milton Fauster, a 11-year-old bookworm. So whenever you see the highlighted portion, just go right in. Okay, last wrongs. In Generica, Kansas, Christmas wasn't something you felt in the chill of winter air or the warmth of a generous smile. It was announced by the 16-foot tower of crystal angels at Grizzly Mall, the Mall of Generica. And this year was no different, at first. Exhausted shoppers filed by, momentarily entranced by the shimmering heart-faced bare-bottom cupids. That is, until Marlo Fauster smashed them to bits with the ore she'd stolen from Spoiled Sports Sporting Goods.
Let's go!
Shrieked Marlo, a blue-haired 13 going on 30-year-old girl to her gangly younger brother Milton. Shards of shining wings and harps rained down around them. The two children bounded across the showroom floor, Marlo running with a look of fierce determination and Milton running out of pure fear. Unbeknownst to both of them, they were also running out of time. Milton had spent most of his young life avoiding trouble, staring at his shoes, shuffling unnoticed, ducking away from tense or even remotely interesting situations for fear of their potentially dangerous potential. He only felt truly safe when tucked between the covers of a book, experiencing life secondhand. Marlo, however, was a different story. Too far was where Marlo lived. If something didn't involve petty and not so petty crime, it just wasn't worth doing. Maybe it was all just a cry for attention. Unfortunately, Marlo's latest acts of thievery and vandalism were drawing far too much attention. At least that's how Milton saw it through his thick Coke bottle glasses as his sister dragged him toward his untimely demise. They ran past stunned shoppers into the mall concourse, Marlo waving her oar as if rowing furiously through a human sea. Milton fought to keep up.
That should buy us some time from security.
Marlo squealed with manic glee. It was at times like this, Milton thought, that he was in the presence of and grudgingly related to a new kind of evil.
And you should have bought that stupid oar.
Milton panted back.
Why would I buy an oar?
She asked, giving Milton's arm a sadistic twist.
We live in Kansas.
The two siblings darted around a corner and burst into the Grizzly Mall food court.
Then why?
Milton stammered in front of Tongue Tie.
For the sport of it.
Marlo said with pride.
If I pull this off, the most conspicuous... You have to put a big word in there?
Yes.
I can't even say it. Conspicuous holiday heist in Grizzly Mall history. I'll be the modern-day Cleopatra.
She paused dramatically, her dark eyes twinkling with reflected Christmas lights.
The stuff of shoplifting legend and all that expensive makeup is just icing on the cake.
Milton stared down at the pink goodbye puppy bag underneath his arm as he trotted onward.
So all this makeup, you didn't need it to just hold back at the cosmetics counter. I just stole lip gloss.
And Suburban Blight cheek bronzer with free radical scavengers and lipid-rich amino moisturizers.
Marlo said while descending an ascending escalator. She grinned. Behind them, a mall security guard lumbered in hot pursuit.
I can't believe you tricked me into stealing for you.
Milton barked back in his squeaky, just-turned-11 voice. Marlo snickered. The fact that she could run clad in several layers of black thrift store dresses holding an 8-foot oar and still manage to maintain a superior attitude was impressive.
You might get all the A's in the family, but I certainly aced you.
She snorted, her black lips catching on a fang. Milton and Marlo rushed into the mall's massive atrium, joining a crowd gathered around a white, globby sculpture. A fierce marshmallow bear, frozen in mid-attack, loomed over the horde of gawking genericans. Below the 20-foot-tall sugary Bruin was a banner declaring, "Welcome to Grizzly Mall, home of the state's second-largest bear-themed marshmallow statue." Marlo's oar sliced through the mass of shoppers like a thin wooden shark fin.
Try to blend.
She whispered to her trembling brother. Despite the heat radiating from the mob, Milton shivered. Something or someone was near, something so cold that it robbed the heat from his very bones. He squinted through his thick glasses and noticed a dark smudge. He wiped his lenses, but the stubborn smudge was still there, hovering on the edge of the crowd filling the atrium. The dark smudge was a boy. A hulking boy, a cruel boy, a boy all too familiar to Milton. A boy who in many ways resembled a smudge. A boy whose eyes were dull, dark, wicked slits. A boy whose skin was like puffy, freckled dough that gave off a sickly sweet smell like rotting fruit. A boy named Damien. Damien sneered at Milton and ran his grubby finger across his throat as he lurched from the mall commons into the heart of the mall. Milton gulped and shut his eyes. On the inside of his eyelids, however, he replayed scenes of Damien's notorious cruelty, all of which, unfortunately, starred Milton. Scene 1, the boys' locker room. Damien, clad in stained, crunchy underwear, flicks a towel at Milton. It slices through the air like a terry cloth snake. Scene 2, the school hallway. Milton runs. Damien thrusts his hands deep into Milton's baggy corduroys and emerges with Milton's Stargate Atlantis underwear. He yanks them up to Milton's neck. The pain is enough to postpone puberty for a year. Scene 3, Mid-Kansas Junior Science Championship. Milton stands proud by a science project, a generator powered by 2 ferrets on twin wheels. His project explodes. Damien shrieks with laughter as he stuffs several fat firecrackers back into the pocket of his filthy jeans. Milton opened his eyes. What upset Milton wasn't necessarily that Damien was here in Grizzly Mall, it was that he looked guilty. It was a look Milton had never seen on the front of Damien's great lumpy head before. What this meant to Milton was that Damien was up to something that scared even him, something unequaled in his reign of thuggery. The thought made Milton's head hurt.
Ow!
He yelped as Marlo whacked him in the back of his head with her stolen oar.
Wake up, Brent. We've got company.
A fresh quartet of security guards lurched out of the food court. One of them jabbed a fry toward Milton and Marlo. The guards broke into pairs and approached the shoplifting duo from either side. In the blink of her eye, Marlo seized Milton by the arm and dragged him into the center of the crowd.
What the?
Milton stammered.
I've got it under control.
She replied. Milton mumbled under his breath. Marlo stopped just in front of the marshmallow bear and shoved the oar under her brother's neck.
Don't come any closer.
She shouted, her nostrils flaring.
I mean it.
The crowd froze. The plump security guards, however, continued their approach. Marlo grabbed a small pot of sickly blue makeup from the stolen cosmetics bag and held it up to Milton's clammy, pale face.
So help me, I will apply this eyeshadow so clearly doesn't complement his complexion.
Milton's pet ferret, Lucky, chose this moment to pop his fuzzy white head out of Milton's backpack, where he often hid, fell asleep, and awakened in strange new places. Lucky considered the crowd with his bright pink eyes and gave his opinion of the situation with a dry hiss. The crowd backed away as one, like a giant creature with 100 heads. Even the security guards stopped insecurely in their tracks. Everyone was taken aback by the sudden, inexplicable appearance of the twitchy, white, weasel-like animal, except for the Fausters, who were unaware that they were harboring a stowaway.
Wow.
Marlo whispered as she scanned the scene with awe.
I had no idea how style-conscious our town was.
Milton heard a faint, sizzling sound coming from behind the bear. Curious, he turned his head, as much as he could with an oar wedged beneath his neck, and saw Damien smirking just above the bear from the balcony. Milton followed Damien's gaze down toward a thin plume of smoke snaking out of the bear's white glob of a tail. Damien had lodged a stick of dynamite in a place no real grizzly would tolerate. The violated sculpture gave off the smell of a roasting s'more. Milton's eyes bugged out. He broke free of his sister's clutches and ran.
Hey!
Marlo tried to chase after her brother. Unfortunately, the hem of her dress stuck fast to the marshmallow grizzly's gummy paw. She pulled its claw-like strings of gooey taffy, but couldn't get away. Milton looked back and saw his sister struggling.
Leave the dress.
Are you kidding? Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. He shouted.
Are you kidding?
Marlo sneered.
This is vintage, one of a kind.
Milton ran back and tugged her sleeve.
Come on, the bear's gonna blow.
Marlo's face looked like a bowl of sour milk with makeup.
I'd sooner die than leave this.
The sputtering fuse disappeared into the bear's bottom, and a massive marshmallow sculpture exploded. Grown men screamed, women wept. Marlo and Milton, hand in hand, were instantly engulfed in flaming goo. Smoke, noise, and burning marshmallow fused together to create a sickeningly sweet moment, one that was both ridiculously tragic and tragically ridiculous. It was a moment that Generica would talk about for years to come, yet for Marlo and Milton, it was the last moment that they would ever share, on Earth anyway. Thank you both. Thank you. I'll be around to to answer any questions you might have. Keep them simple, nothing regarding trigonometry or history. So thank you.